something. Why are you shaking, trash?
You're harassing. You're
I'm not harassing you. I'm in the dollar store trying to buy something. What are you doing, trash?
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Get up on there, girl.
Looking back now, I believe I was in an abusive relationship.
Get up off of that thing.
Thank you, sir.
I mean, this was probably the worst that it's ever gotten, and it didn't happen until she found out we were dating.
Excuse me. I'm gonna get around you, so thank you. Bye, trash. Have a great day. See you later, trash.
Every time we go to court with her, it's like she's like manages to get away with everything that she does.
All rise.
I just want to be able to see my daughter.
Like a real man to be.
So you're just living off of his child. We've gone over so many of these cases.
Order in the court.
All right, well, let me first say welcome to the Family Court Podcast, guys. Thank you for taking the time to be here with us. So this is actually being streamed live, and then I'm going to have the replay a little later on. I wanted to give you guys the opportunity to be able to tell the truth behind the video that was on, it looks like it was in a Dollar Tree, right? Or Family Dollar. It looks like it was a Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree? Okay. So when the video was sent to me, the lady that sent it to me explained it a little bit to me, and she said that, Miss Teresa, you were basically shopping at a Dollar Tree, and Mr. Javier, I don't know if that was your ex-wife or what was the relationship there?
Ex-wife.
Okay, so the ex-wife followed Miss Teresa into the store and started just calling her all sorts of names, cussing her out, and now I think you have altogether from what was sent to me, what I posted, and what was posted prior to the video sent to me, I think we are close to 1 million views, if not more than that.
Oh, wow.
You know, the video have gone viral, and a lot of people, they were on your side, Miss Teresa, and then many people were asking, why didn't you just smack her across the face? And I hate to say it like that, but before we can go with the story that was shared with me, I wanted you guys to actually tell us the truth behind the video. But let's start from the beginning, Mr. Javier, if I can. How long were you married to, I don't want to say her name, how long were you guys married?
We were married a total of 3 years.
3 years? How many kids do you guys have together?
We have 2 kids together. Our oldest daughter, she is 19.
Okay.
And we have our son. He's going to be 17 in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so you have grown kids with her. Okay. And so, okay, I hate to ask this. So how long was it after the divorce you ended up with Miss Teresa?
Like 2 years, almost
Okay.
3 years after. We had been divorced. Our divorce was finalized in 2011.
Okay.
But we had been separated since 2009, 2010.
Okay. Okay. So it seems, so you guys were basically separated for a while, and you got in a relationship with Miss Teresa, who is now your current wife, right?
Yeah.
So is this a continuous behavior with her, or was just that one time where she ran across Miss Teresa that she started acting the way that she was acting?
It's been repeated behavior. I mean, this was probably the worst that it's ever gotten.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as dealing with the headaches and the hardships of that type of personality,
Right.
It's been continuous. And it didn't happen until she found out we were dating. 2013, 14.
Well, we started dating in 2013, and we kept it under wraps. I think it was like a year until we started bringing it out to, bringing the kids around me and, making me more like around his family and stuff. And then that's when she found out, because the kids would, tell her what was going on and stuff. So I want to say, a year after we started dating, that's when she found out we were together. And that's when it was just off the bat, it just started off that.
Yeah. Yeah, I am sorry that you had to experience that, though, because I'm like, when I saw the video, it was like, if she's comfortable to do this in front of people, that means she have done something like this before. You can only imagine. Go ahead.
Since I've known her, since I've been, like aware of who she was and how she was, like, it's just constantly been her just being confrontational, using the kids to, start stuff with us, using them as leverage, you know, like just, I don't know, slowly she would just kind of.
It just progressed.
Like, yeah, progress to where it is now, to where it's like, she just has a history of being abusive and manipulative, and it's gotten to the kids, you know, it's gotten, you know, to us. We have a daughter, she's going to be 6 in a couple weeks, and
Okay.
You know, it's affected her and her older sister's relationship, his oldest daughter, to where, you know, they're not close, to where it's kind of, it seems like they're picking sides.
Yeah. And then what I don't understand with her is that the kids are grown. 18, you said 18 and 17, right? 19 and 17, those are grown kids. Like, why do you still act like this? You know, I don't understand it. So I'm guessing the divorcing her was your decision. Was this one of those things, you know, she was the same behavior during the relationship, or this is something that happened, you think, maybe after you ended the relationship with her, she didn't want to see you with Miss Teresa?
It's both. I believe it's both. So I believe, looking back now, I believe I was in an abusive relationship. I mean, not physically, but emotionally. Yeah. There was a lot of psychological stuff going on there. And I'm not a doctor. I can't properly say what it is, right? But I call it narcissistic injury. And it may be something else other than that, but all those boxes are checked. And I think a lot of this is narcissistic injury, on the fact that once we were divorced, she wanted to keep somewhat of a relationship, but when it was cut off, she found out we were dating and started catching up in her lies. So we met. She used to work at the kids' school, and that's part of the reason we kept it under wraps, you know, until we figured out it was going to be something serious.
Right.
Once it started coming out, and once my ex found out, that's when she started interjecting with her, you know, manipulation, telling me, hey, you know, I seen Teresa, she was giving me dirty looks at the school and this and this. So I would ask her, I was like, when did you first notice? Oh, I just yesterday when I went to go get the kids. And so when it came out, I was like, well, we've been together over a year now. She just kind of was like that. I think that added to the injury. And then the fact that I wasn't just bringing people around my kids. You know, I waited till this was going to be something serious. This was something that was going to work. And then we started coming around, bringing her around the kids. And my daughter already, off the bat, already had a good relationship with her.
Yeah, me and his daughter, like from the get-go, we were really, really close. She used to be around me a lot. And so she would always, you know, when we started coming around, me coming around, she would, you know, be excited to, you know, see me, hang out with us. And I think with his ex, she saw that as like, okay, I need to ruin that relationship. I need to kind of like.
And she was threatened.
I think she was threatened that we were, you know, so close. She looked up to me, and present day, like, that relationship is completely shattered. It's gone. Now I'm the evil stepmom in her eyes. And, you know, it's sad that's been going on for so long. And
that is crazy. I mean, I know looks are deceiving, but from the looks of it, it seems like you are the calm one. You know, even from the video of all the things that she was saying to you, you maintained your composure. You didn't yell back at her, you know.
I've never been in that type of situation, dealing with such an erratic, toxic like person. Like, I've never been around it. I've never had issues with anyone in my life up until I met this woman. And, you know, it's not easy to deal with. Like, in that video, I was keeping my composure, but on the inside, like, my blood was boiling. I wanted to say something, but in the back of my head, it was like, don't stoop down to her level. And 2, it's like, don't say anything that, you know, like, what if the kids were to hear me say, you know, something stupid and it gets back to them. Like, I don't want to look like that kind of person in their eyes.
Right.
And I never have been.
Yeah, I just saw your ugly ass. I just wanted to come and tell you.
Why are you so bold?
And, you know, so it's like, I wanted to defend him. She was trying to push a lot of buttons, but in the end of the day, it was like, you're nobody. You're nobody. I'm not gonna, make a fool of myself. You're doing that all on your own. Like, that's just not the kind of person I am.
Oh my word. You trashy little bitch. What are you doing here? What are you doing here, you little whore? Huh? Yeah, stay silent now. You don't have anything to say now, do you, bitch? With your whole Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, whatever about me. Show your face, bitch. Show your face, bitch.
Yeah. I mean, it's sad. It's like she cannot accept that the relationship is now over, So
chunk of it too is like, well, her reasoning behind the whole thing is because I made her life hell. I'm ruined their co-parenting relationship, and I've just been, horrible to her kids. And that's her whole front of why she acts the way she does and how she feels towards me. But the thing is, it's like, I don't know, it's just.
Yeah. So, Mr. Javier, did you guys had a cordial co-parenting relationship prior to you getting with Miss Teresa?
I would say so. I think a lot of it had to do was because I was just going along with whatever she wanted. I never really stood up and put my foot down and, went outside of what she wanted. But once I started doing things with Teresa, and we started doing, going out of town for holidays and stuff like that, or wanting to keep my timeshare with the kid. We've had a 50-50 custody arrangement. That was what I got after the divorce. Mm-hmm. And once I wanted to start keeping the custody order, that's when things started to get out of hand. There used to be a lot of typical thing where, yeah, you want to take them during my week, or that's fine. Yeah, take them this weekend, take them this day. I didn't really care. It wasn't until I started kind of wanting to stick to the order and follow that and doing things as a blended family when things started to kind of take a turn.
Yeah. I think that's usually how it happens. When she saw that you were getting, I guess, somewhat serious, that's when she started, acting crazy. So Ms. Teresa, let's jump into the day that she walked up on you. So you weren't in line. And I'm gonna play the video so people can see what we're talking about. Did you contact Mr. Javier right after she showed up at the store, or you waited until you got out the store?
I was
He was there, but
you were there.
He was in
Okay.
He was in the car outside with our daughter.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, this is how it started.
So we were going to the dollar store. We're going to go get some Christmas bags and some wrapping paper and stuff. In that plaza, there's a Party City. You got party supplies and stuff like that. It's a little business plaza. There's a gas station. There's a little restaurant. There's like the Party City. There's a dollar store. There's a bank there and everything. So as we're driving in that parking lot, I look over and I see this lady hitting a vape pen, and I was just like, man, that's crazy. Like, people are like, they got to smoke on a regular basis.
Right.
And then I didn't realize who it was, but then it hit me. I was like, oh crap, that's my ex. And so I was like, oh man, I hope she don't see me. So I look down at my phone, and out the corner of my eyes, I see this gesture like
she saw you.
Yeah.
And once I seen him, he told me, he was like, oh, shoot, my ex is here. And I looked in my rearview mirror because we were still in the car passing her. Like, I guess she was walking to her car. And I just see a woman like flipping us off, like in the rearview mirror. And I'm like, wait, and then it clicked in my head that it was her. And so we ended up driving up to the store, parked the car. And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to run in real quick. I just need to get a couple bags and then, stay in the car with our daughter, and I'll be right back. And so I just booked it in the store really fast. And I was actually towards the front of the store, like in the corner where they have all the gift bags. So it wasn't really hard to, find me. And so right when I was done, I turned around and I already had the phone in my face, and her just already off the bat, just cussing me out.
Oh my word. You trashy little bitch. What are you doing here? What are you doing here, you little whore? Huh? Yeah, stay silent now. You don't have anything to say now, do you, bitch? With your whole Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, whatever about me. Share your face, bitch. Share your face, bitch.
All that stuff. And I, like, the first thing that I thought to do was start recording too. So
Right.
I got my phone out because we're actually going to court and all this stuff. And so I felt like, you know, it would help our situation, you know, just to, you know, protect myself and, you know, if she does anything dumb. But just right off the bat, like, she had no care in the world, like, wasn't trying to, you know, compose herself, be like, you know, talk like in a non-harassing manner or anything like that. She just went off that and just went off.
Why are you shaking, Trash?
You're harassing. You're gonna
I'm
get
not
another
harassing you.
restraining
I'm in the
order.
dollar store trying to buy something. What are you
Thank
doing,
you,
Trash?
sir. I appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Get up on there, girl. Get up off of that bag.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Modesto 209. Excuse me. I'm gonna get around you, so thank you. Bye,
No,
Trash. Have a great day. See you later, Trash. I'm not gonna move.
Do you have security?
Probably not.
'Cause
Probably not.
I don't want her to see my payment information.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, we get a manager.
Yeah, get a manager.
So you didn't do anything to her prior to that interaction. It just
No.
just came out of nowhere.
She just seen us drive by, and what, like, everything that's led up till now, like, starting since last summer, she's been using the legal system to her advantage.
She started going to, she's actually going to Berkeley now, taking some legal classes. She's trying to get her degree.
She's trying to she's trying to become a lawyer. And so I feel like
wow,
everything that
that's
she's
insane.
learning in school and all this stuff, like, she's trying to use that to her advantage.
I feel like I've been the guinea pig in
And so
her trade.
they've been going to court, I want to say, since last summer. And that's why she threw in the whole, like, should I have your husband arrested for, you know, the whole restraining order thing. And so she was trying to weaponize that against me. And anyways, but every time we go to court with her, it's like she's, like, manages to get away with everything that she does.
She wants to know if she can leave.
She's harassing me, and I'm trying to
She won't
pay.
get out of the way. She's trying to harass you.
So she needs to pay stuff?
No,
No, I need to pay, and she doesn't want to leave. She's harassing.
Okay. Can you just move for a second so she can pay and she'll be gone?
No.
Why?
I wanted to buy something.
See,
So.
this is her normal.
This is getting ridiculous.
This is how she is all the time.
There's tons of people here in line. We gotta do this. Like, let's hustle this up. You got what you had to say. Let's go.
Go ahead. You got what you had to say. Go ahead and pay.
Yeah, just wait till
I could Venmo you.
yeah,
No, you're good. Don't worry about
pay
it.
for that stuff and then
Come on, Kay. Let's go.
Pay it forward, guys. I love it.
Come on. Like, I got my kid here, dude. Like, let's go.
Teach your kid not to be a horrible person.
My kid has nothing to do with this.
Well, then why
I'm
are you
gonna tell
involving
you
your kid in
this,
it? You said you
dude.
have your kid here. So
Hey,
your kid
you
has
can take
nothing
my
to do with it.
info too because this is
Take it.
disrespectful.
Aw,
Okay.
disrespect has nothing to do with your civil liberties, so good for you.
How do people?
I know how to do it. Well, you guys are all self-justice.
Oh no, go ahead.
Oh, no, that's
you take
not
all of
mine.
your stuff. This is mine. I got you. Go ahead, so you can take off.
Oh, thank
Don't
you.
worry about it.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
God bless.
You parked
Merry
close?
Christmas.
Really, really.
Yeah, I parked close.
And in California, you know, it's, you know, dads don't have an advantage when it comes to the legal system and
That's
custody
the sad truth.
and
Yeah.
child support and all that stuff. And she's managed to use the legal system to her advantage, and she's abused it. And so she tried getting a restraining order on him last summer because our stepson, she's just been abusing the kids for years, mentally, physically. She's cut off his oldest daughter's hair. 1 year, I want to say, like,
It was 2019.
2019, she cut off her hair, and she managed to get away with that too. And just recently, she has been physically abusing his oldest son, or our only son, and has been, you know, verbally abusing him too. And so last summer, he decided he didn't want to live with her anymore. And so she didn't like that, and she retaliated on him. And so there was a situation where he wanted to, get his belongings from his mom's house to bring it to our house. And so one of those things was a passport because he was promised a trip to Europe for, doing so good in school. And so his mom had the passport. She had purchased it and got it for him. And so she was using that as
Another leverage
tool to, like pretty much threatened that he wouldn't go on his trip unless he forked over money for it. And she was asking what, like $7,000?
Wow.
Well, initially, so she feel like she's due X amount of money for the kids' braces, because
just the kids' expenses in general.
Yeah, so we're supposed to split out of pocket medical bills, and I think both of us were somewhere around 30,000 now, and she hasn't paid any of that. So as part of that, I said I wasn't gonna help with anything she does out of pocket, and she took our kids ahead of schedule to get braces. And I said, I'm not. That's on you.
Right.
I'm not gonna help with that. It's on you. I'm still paying this, 20, 30 grand. And then our daughter, like our oldest daughter, she had a baby, and that was 25,000 itself right there.
Wow.
Which again, it's not, there's no two parts to pay that. It just falls on me. So she feels like she's owed that money. So she was trying to use that as leverage, saying you can start with like 6 or 7. I think it was 7,000. And then she said, at least give me $230 for the passport, which is what it cost. But at the time, I've been blessed since then. But at the time, I wasn't in a position where I could just do that.
Right.
So I told her, initial email I sent her, I was like, I'm sure you're aware right now our son, he doesn't want to live there anymore. And I hope that we can have a smooth transition. We can go get his belongings. I told her, I said, I'm willing to pay you what you're asking. I said, but I can't do it up front. I'll keep paying child support until that amount is met, and then we'll make the modification for child support. And her reaction to it was just laughing emojis and saying, you're going to keep paying and I'm going to get my money and this and this and this. And that's where it went off. So then we ended up getting the money so our son can get his passport so he can go on his trip. So he was promised a trip to Paris with his aunt on his mom's side if he can maintain his grade point average. And he finished his sophomore year with a high grade point average. So he earned that trip over there.
Right.
So we went to go get it. There was an argument, and things ended bad. And we were there for a couple of hours before she finally decided to give him the passport. I was like, we're not going to leave unless you give us that passport.
Initially, they went, and our son got out of the car, gave her the money, and I don't know, just like he said, his body posture was just like he was looking down, he was looking shameful and stuff like that. And so he got out of the car, to go and help the situation. And she ended up getting pissed off because he got out of the car and was like, hey, he gave you the money, let's get the passport, we got to go. Right. And so she didn't like that. She ended up taking the money and then walking off with it and went to get into her car. And she was going to take off with the money. They didn't have the passport, nothing. And so she ended up getting in her car. He ended up standing behind her car so she wouldn't,
drive off.
To drive off with the money. Yeah. And so he ended up calling the police. So he was on the phone with the police this whole time. And so the police really couldn't do much. They just said, take it to court type situation if she ends up taking the money. So that was pretty much, pointless. But she ended up parking the car and going inside and locking herself inside the house with the money and the passport. And so he was just, waiting for her to come back out to see if, she would at least, give the money back. And he just kept asking hey, can you give us the money back if you're not going to give us a passport? It was just a whole game to her. And so they ended up leaving, And she, mind you, she has cameras all around her house. So that was another way to show, I guess, for the restraining order that he was like harassing her. And so she, you know, she put a picture of him like standing behind her car, like blocking it from her leaving. And
she said I threatened her with a weapon, and then her boy, well, I don't know whatever he was at the time, but he's one of the other dads. She has two other kids, two other guys, and he was one of the ones that was there, and he said, yeah, I was there and I seen it. He threatened her.
Yeah.
Wow. So he lied to...
Yeah.
Wow.
And the crazy thing is they're actually going to court for a restraining order also.
Like she's doing the same thing to she's doing the same thing to this guy as she's doing to him.
Yeah.
And he was the one that tried helping her with the whole getting a restraining order on him.
Wait, so she turned against the guy that was trying to help her to get you. Wow. So let me see, that's the sad thing about the family court. For some reason they don't hold mothers accountable. You know, and I did a review of a video last week where this father had to bring the mother to court like 6 times before the judge was able to put her to jail. You know what I mean? Like she wasn't letting him see the kids. She was lying. Just somewhat what you went through. He was going through the exact same thing until he brought it to the court like 6 different times before a judge was able to grant some type of remedy to that father. You know, it's a very, very sad thing to be able to see. You know, and most of these judges, they know that these moms, something is wrong with them, but they just don't hold them accountable. I don't know why, to be honest with you. So when she went to court, lying that you were threatening her, did a judge grant a restraining order against you?
Yeah, so he ended up granting a temporary with a no contact on my son. So my son was stuck over there, and things just went from bad to worse. She
pretty much trapped him.
Yeah, she used everything he had as leverage against him. So mind you, he couldn't talk to me. He had already made the decision that he was going to live with us permanently. But once he got back from his trip, that's when everything had went into effect. And so I had talked to him before, and I just let him know. I was like, look, man, there's some stuff going on. Can't really give you the full details, but you're going to have to stay with your mom for a while. I'm not going to be able to reach out to you. I won't be able to talk to you for a couple of weeks until this thing gets straightened out. Just kind of reassure him that this wasn't my decision, that I'm not abandoning him. I'm not leaving him. Trying to fill him in as much as I could without giving him too much.
Right.
And when he was there for those 2 weeks, she was trying to just scare him even more, saying, you know, I'm going to pull you out of school. You're not going to see any of your friends. You're going to go to this school because it's closer to our house, and you're not going to have any of your electronics. I'm going to get you another phone. I'm going to monitor all that stuff. Like just trying to isolate him basically, which is, like I said, there's just so much narcissistic check boxes that are being checked. And so that's why I continue to label it as that. But anyways, that's where he was at with it. It got to a point where he ended up running away. And he went to my mom's house, and he ended up going to my uncle's house, and he reached out to the local police department and told them what was going on.
He wrote a whole detailed letter of the abuse. She was hitting him. She was
basically saying why he didn't want to be there and stuff. And so the cop ended up calling his mom, saying that, you know, he had to go back with her. And so he tried taking off again during that before his mom got there. And they ended up finding him, and, you know, they made him go back with her. So once it was lifted up, I think he was already scared to kind of make that decision again to want to stay here. Mind you, he was 16. This was just last summer. He was 16 during this stuff. So he has the right to decide where he wants to live now.
Right.
At least, you know, so he had already made that decision, but now he's so shooken up by what he saw and everything that's been going on that he's trying to stick to the 50-50 order so he doesn't get his mom upset with him, that I don't get any more trouble. You know,
it's terrible, man. And I can imagine as a father, you have a no contact order and your son is going through all those things. There's nothing that you can do. You can call them, you can check up on them, you can't do anything. And this is what I tell people sometimes, the family court, you know, granted, sometimes they do help, but the majority of the time they don't really help. They just create chaos, to be honest with you, you know. And this restraining orders, and I had a podcast with a judge who broke it down in a way that when you look at it from the court system perspective, it makes sense. But from a father's perspective, because I had to go through something similar to that as well, you know, from a father's perspective, it don't make sense at all, because you are granting a no contact order without really investigating what really happened, you know. And the judge, when I asked him that question, he was like, the reason why they do that is because they don't have time to really investigate. A lot of these things, it's filed on the emergency basis where the judge have to make a decision very, very quickly. You know what I mean? And again, it doesn't excuse them really just giving a restraining order without really, you know, investigating what really happened before I can push this father away. It's a very, very sad thing, you know. What is the your situation now? Was the temporary restraining order removed, or has it been?
It hasn't been lifted yet. It's been extended till May. As long as there's no violation, it'll be dropped with prejudice. That's where we're at now. But yeah, so I actually went to court in 2019 when this whole incident happened with my daughter. So, like my wife was telling you earlier, you know, she had cut her hair. My daughter, you know, she's being a teenager at the time, and she got caught possibly smoking by her mom. Mom wasn't sure she was hiding. So they got physical. She ended up cutting her hair and kicked her out. This was like November, I believe, November, December timeframe. Wow. And so CPS report was made, pictures were taken, my daughter made a statement, and before this, there had been other issues with my daughter, and so I had went to parenting classes, we went to coaching classes, tried doing the co-parenting counseling with my ex as well, and I went to court to show that, hey, look, I need an emergency order for my daughter. She's being abused, my son's over there, I want my kids to, you know, be able to be safe. Wasn't granted.
He had like
I had a stack of evidence, and
just all the harassment.
She basically just wrote an essay, like a 3-paragraph little essay thing, saying that, oh, well, he's been abusive towards me. He's locked me in rooms. He's done this, just whatever kind of accusations. And mind you, this was just a statement. He actually had proof. She had keyed our car. She had anything that showed that she wasn't willing to co-parent. She was dragging her into the mess when we were talking about co-parenting. Oh, well, we can't do this because of her, and you're B and whatever. So I had all of that. And so her whole thing was like, you know, her plea to the judge was that it's just been such a bad relationship. We should go to co-parenting counseling to get along for our kids, because that'll be better for them, and, you know, whatever sounded good. And the judge was kind of in agreement with that. And I told the judge, I told him, I said, Your Honor, I said, I tried doing co-parenting counseling. I got a letter from the counselor showing that she refused to go to any of the sessions. And his response to that was, you know, Mr. Benavidez, you started off just fine, but just trying to throw her under the bus isn't going to work in your favor.
Wow.
So that was pretty much all he did. He granted the temporary a 6-month, but he put one on both of us. He said, I'll grant you the restraining order, but it's going to be on both of you, or you can do co-parenting counseling. So I told him, I said, I want my peace. I came for that restraining order. So I ended up getting one on myself also to get one on her. But that's how, the system is just, it's not really meant for fathers. And there are cases, and I hate to be that person that says, oh, the system is not meant for, but there are cases of dads who do, you know, prevail against it.
Right.
But it takes so much time and so much resources that sometimes we don't have that time, and we don't have those resources or know where to look. And even if we do, it's just so much time. And then it just gets to a point where it's just so draining.
It is.
And you see it weighing down, not just on yourself, but then it trickles down to the family, you know, and it's just kind of a defeat. Like, you feel beat, you know, you want to protect your kids, but they don't let you sometimes.
Yeah, there's not much you can do. Yeah, I went through something similar. That's actually the reason for my platform. I've talked to a number of fathers that have gone through the same thing. It's literally, it's a systematic issue. You know, it doesn't matter what state you're in. It's exactly the exact same thing, to be honest with you. It's very, very sad, and I went through something similar to what you went through. And one thing that I've come to understand, again, this is with the podcast that I did with the retired judge. Most of these judges, I don't know if you were presenting yourself. It sounded like you went in there pro se. Usually when you stand alone before these judges, they won't give you what you're looking for. You know what I mean? Because many of them don't like people that represent themselves. They want you to bring in an attorney. To them, you are incompetent. You don't know what you're doing in court. You're just wasting the court's time. That's how these judges look at it. So even if you have a good case, the reason why they won't grant you what you are asking is because they don't want to encourage that behavior. Meaning, they don't want people to look at your case and say, you know what, since he represented himself and he won, I can also do the same thing and represent myself. You see what I'm saying? So what they do is they will make it very hard for you, just complicate the whole process so you can go and get an attorney, which again, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. A lot of these attorneys sometimes what $6,000-$7,000 just to retain them. That's crazy.
Yeah.
At
the time when this whole kicked off, I wasn't as financially blessed as I am now, and luckily, like I said, God has blessed us, and He's put me in a better position, and so now I'm able to afford an attorney. I wasn't to represent myself. I do follow Who's a Deadbeat, and I got their book and everything, and I was ready to do it, but I was like, man, the stuff she's accusing me of, and it's the same judge. I did not want to go against it myself, so I hired an attorney, and just this little case, we're already almost 16,000 into it, and it's kind of ridiculous. Like I said, my son's going to be 17, and we're still going for custody, and it shouldn't be where it's at right now.
Yeah. I actually did a podcast with, I don't know if you guys saw it, with the Who's a Deadbeat, him and his wife. You guys saw it?
Yeah, that's why I started following you from.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. See, even with them, they have an amazing story, and he ended up winning custody of his children. But I think he started pro se, and then he later hired an attorney, to help him with his case. And that's why I usually tell people, to be honest with you, if you are going to represent yourself, you have to have enough time to read. You have to, because it takes a lot. It takes a lot to stand before a judge on your own. You gotta be very, very sharp. So let me ask you guys this, because I don't want to keep you guys too long. So going through all of that, and I'm curious to know, what is the conversation like with you and your wife right now, with you and Miss Teresa? Because I can only imagine, and I went through something similar too. Like, you are in a new relationship, and then the ex is just a nightmare. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't apologize enough to my partner, like, what's really going on. Like, how do you have, when the cameras are off, just you and her, what is the conversation like? Even before your child was born, just going through what you went through, or still going through it with your ex. What is the conversation like with Miss Teresa?
Just a lot of toughen up, cowboy.
Yeah, a lot of apologizing.
No, yeah, it's just a lot of, just be patient. Don't let it get to you.
Yeah.
This is just, if it doesn't work out, then we're only playing into what she wants, and you got to be stronger. And I'm trying to be a strong support, not just one for the kids, and then I have to also try to be supportive of where she's at also. Yeah. Now, we've come such a long way from where we started, and I think I still need to be supportive, but she sees a lot of it for herself now, and she understands kind of the game that this other woman is playing, and just learning to be patient and learning to try to excel in that patience. And yeah, I think that's really it. Just like I said, it's just a lot of just trying to be supportive and trying to be patient and learning to be that shoulder versus the giving advice all the time.
Yeah. How about you, Miss Teresa? How do you handle all these things? How do you handle this stress?
I want to say in the beginning, it was, something I wasn't used to. Yeah. And then after dealing with it for a while and seeing like, whoa, she can't, stoop any lower. Oh, yeah, she can. Oh, she can't stoop any lower than that. Oh, yeah, she can. And then, you just start to, build this anger up. You're up, you have a lot of anger towards her for how she's treating the kids, how she treated me. and how she treated him. And it's like, you want to protect your family.
Yeah.
And so I want to say last year was when I was done holding on to all the anger and all of the, wanting to be revengeful and, wanting to, hold on to all that bitterness. And so I gave my life to God last year.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot out of you dealing with this kind of person. And I do have, tougher skin because of it now. I can see things in a different perspective to, where it's like, it shows you where, like, you don't want to be acting like that. Because when you do get, into those, back and forth and just calling each other names and stuff like that, it's like, you don't feel good after.
Yeah.
And I gave my life to God last year, and I was like, I don't want to carry this anymore. Because it was affecting how you see your, stepkids, and how you just handle yourself, with your patients on a daily basis, with handling like everyday tasks and being a parent and all that stuff. And it's like, I gave myself to God, and I'm still working through it. It's not easy, especially with all the stuff that's, happened recently. But it's just, I just don't want to deal with it anymore.
Yeah, it gets better though. It gets better, to be honest. And I know sometimes that's not something that we all want to hear, especially when you are going through it. And that's the thing that really kept me moving forward, because it gets to the point where you don't know what to do anymore, because you can't call the police, you can't bring it to court, you don't know who you have nobody to really explain that will be able to help you. I really, really went through it. So it's go ahead.
And this whole situation that happened at the Dollar Tree, everyone was telling me, oh, well, you can get a restraining order, go to court, take this to court. And so at first I was just like on the fence about it. And I was like, I don't want to, have to waste more time, more energy. And, it's just, I felt like it was a waste of time. But everyone else was, trying to hype me up and be like, no, go get a restraining order. Like, no one like deserves to be treated that way. And now you have actual footage that to where it's like it looks bad on her part.
Right.
And so I ended up, filing a restraining order on her. And the judge granted an emergency restraining order. And so we were trying to serve her. She was dodging everyone that was trying to serve her. And so we ended up serving her last minute. And we went to court, and I had an attorney with me. And even with an attorney, it was just, the judge pretty much
called it a one-off situation.
Called it, a one-time situation. He's going to give her the benefit of the doubt that she'll handle herself better the next time. And like, he pretty much just scolded her and gave her like a slap on the wrist. And
that's sad. Yeah.
And I was I for sure thought like, okay, finally we're gonna, have something to, back us up with. And because like I have my daughter with me all the time. She's with me constantly. And if you hadn't gone with me to the Dollar Tree that day, I would have had her in the store with me, and she wouldn't have held back in front of my child. She would have traumatized her too. And there was other kids in the store, and she didn't care. She was calling me this, calling me that, like, putting the camera in my face. Like you could, even in that clip that you had posted, she was saying, oh, why are you shaking? Why are you shaking? So she can like acknowledge that, like she's, trying to like intimidate me and try to use that to, using his restraining order to, threaten me with it and stuff like that. And she was just trying to push every button that she could. And I think she was trying to get me to that point to where I would say something or hit her or do something of that nature, because she's just the type of person that would twist the situation and put a restraining order on me for laying hands on her or for doing something dumb. So she had a motive that day. And, you know, like, I was hoping this restraining order, you know, would protect me, protect my daughter, so my daughter wouldn't have to, you know, ever witness that type of behavior in the future. But the judge just was like, you know, don't act like that.
Like every situation, it just seems like she has some kind of, she gets squeezed out.
Yeah, it's really sad, to be honest. But I have to applaud you, the way that you handle it, to be honest with you. The way that you handle that situation, that is how we all should handle it, you know. And I know some people don't have that patience or that self-control. You know, when you're coming up, you know, you're walking up to someone like that with the camera, I mean, somebody will hate you, you know, or just, you know, get into a back and forth, yelling and cussing at each other, you know. But you kept your composure. You didn't call out, at least I didn't hear it from the video, you didn't call out her name, you didn't put your hands on her. Like, it was amazing the way that you handle yourself.
That was like a 2-3 minute clip. Like this incident lasted for almost like 10 minutes. I have the whole thing on recording, but yeah, like, he has an awareness page for parental alienation and narcissistic abuse and all that stuff. And well, he's made it private for now because of all the court stuff that they're going through. But you know, we're planning on, when the time is right, we're planning on, you know, adding more to, you know, his awareness page, and that video is going to be one of them. The video that he has,
please send me the links.
The whole passport. The whole passport incident. He had that whole thing on video. So we're just, you know, once the time is right, we are going to keep, you know, spreading awareness and exposing and shedding, you know, light on the darkness.
Yeah, send me the links, and then whenever the page goes public, I'm gonna help promote the page, and then we can do another podcast, just, you know, focusing on the page, so I can help, because I know a lot of people, and I was one of those people that went through, you know, parental alienation, you know. Yeah, just let me know whenever that page goes public, and we can go in and do another podcast and just help promote, so I can send some people to you, because I know a lot of people, man. And I was telling everybody that I get the opportunity to talk to here, I always tell them, they can never be enough of pages like ours to really raise awareness, because this thing is not stopping.
Like, some good traction before he made it private, you know. He was speaking to a lot of people, helping them, you know, with advice, like what he went through with the legal system and everything like that, and how to, you know, take care of the kids when they're going through something like that.
Yeah. Have you talked to an attorney about the about you going public with the page? Because I had the same issue, you know, because she brought it to court to make it seem like I was talking about her. I was encouraging men not to be fathers or to run away, not to pay child support. Like, I had a lot of lies on me, you know. But when I hired an attorney to really try to understand if my page was, you know, problematic, a lot of them say, as long as you don't, especially if it's an open case, as long as you, again, I'm not telling you go and do this, you know, talk to an attorney first in your state to be sure that's what you can do. But as long as you are not talking about her directly, you know, you are not showing anything that is, you know, to defame her character directly, you should be fine. You know, at least that was in my case, you know. So talk to an attorney. Do you have an attorney right now, or are you still looking?
No, yeah, we have an attorney right now, but he is going to be doing this limited, I think, by March. He's moving on to another career path, or same career path, but he's going to be out of family law. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of attorneys get tired of family law too, man. It's a headache. It's a headache. But I have an attorney, because I have a network of attorneys, because I'm a paralegal. So I have a network of attorneys that I work with across the country. So if you do need an attorney, just let me know. I have one good one. I actually did a podcast with her on my website, on my YouTube. You know, if you guys want to go and check her out, she's really good. She's really good. She's in the California area. So she's mostly LA, Orange County, and a few other, you know, California areas. So I can give you guys her contact information if you want to talk to her. She's really good. You know, she's really good. You know, so, but thank you guys for having, you know, for taking the time to talk to me and then clarifying the story. And again, if you have anything that you feel comfortable sharing, as far as the video, text messages that you're comfortable sharing, you want to post with this podcast, you know, just send it to me and I'm going to include it. But again, anything that would jeopardize your case, you know, just something that you know won't really mess up your case or anything like that, I'll be more than happy to include it so I can tell your story. Because when it was sent to me, the way that it was explained, it was like, nah, I feel like there's a lot more to this story than what we were able to see. So it's sad, and I'm sorry that you have to go through that. And I pray to God with these platforms, my platform, what you are creating, Who's the Deadbeat, and all these other platforms, dedicated to the family court. I pray to God that something changes, something really changes. Because a lot of them, they usually say they're doing all of this because of the best interest of the child. But when you really step back and look at it, that child is not benefiting from this. You know what I mean? Like, you pushing dad away, mom and dad not getting along. When we bring it to a judge, it seems like they really don't care. The kids are not benefiting from this. So whose interest, it's a sad thing. It's a sad thing, So I'm gonna give you guys the last word. Anything else you want to add before we get out of here?
Well, I just want to thank you for giving us the time, to speak on your platform.
Absolutely.
To, give our side of,
story, right.
situation. And, I really, we're praying that, the whole legal system and all that stuff, changes, because right now what we've been through, what the kids have been through, it's not okay. It's not right, and it really does affect the kids, and they're the ones that are suffering through all of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to say real quick for anyone else going through it. I know it's not just dads. I know there are some mothers also on the same end of it. But whatever it is you guys are going through, just remember to always love your kids. Always put them first. Let them know that you're there to support them no matter what. Sometimes it might be hard to not badmouth the other parent, but make sure you don't got to bring them up. Just do what you feel right as a parent to your kid, to always be supportive, to let them know, like, again, that I said that they're loved, and just don't take your eyes off of them, right? Keep your eyes on them and make them your main focus during all of this, because it's going to get hard, and it's not just hard for you, it's also hard for them. They face another battle that we can't even imagine, that we don't know, right? We have our own battles that we can understand. We don't understand what it's like to be these kids that are 6 to 18. It's different mindsets. We don't know what it's like to be them. So just keep your focus on them, make them feel loved, and always be supportive. Always be that person that they can turn to and run to, that they don't have to earn or fight for your love or your trust.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said, man. Well said. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show. I truly appreciate you guys. I wanted to do an hour because I don't like to hold people up too long, unless you want to add anything else. But apart from that, thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for sharing your story, and keep doing what you're doing. Miss Teresa, truly stay strong. I know it's not easy, but at the end of all of it, honestly, it works out. It always works out, especially now that you turn your life to Christ. I think you're always gonna come out of this a winner, to be honest. I may not seem like it right now, but you're gonna come out of it a winner. And
when they get older, they know who the safe parent is.
Absolutely.
They see it for themselves, and you don't have to manipulate it. You don't have to, make the other parent look bad, because they're doing it on their own.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mr. Javier, let me know whenever that page goes public. I'm going to help boost it up for you and then send some more people to you. Thank you guys so much for coming on, okay? No problem. I hope you have a good night. No problem.
Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you have a story dealing with the family court, a bitter baby mama or baby daddy, and you would like to share your story, please reach out to familycourtqa@gmail.com.